And hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jovan and welcome to my review of Night of Champions. Obviously the first Saudi Arabia show I've reviewed in years. Obviously I put principle, but when you've got John Cena, CM Punk as the main event, and one last time, kind of had to watch it. I mean, it had to be watched. I can't not watch that match. But obviously it was a 6-match card. Obviously we had the men's and women's King of the Ring tournament finals. Obviously we had the United States Championship was on the line as well. We had obviously it was a Karrion Kross going against Sami Zayn, and obviously we had John Cena, CM Punk main event. Can't wait to talk about that. So obviously you should make sure you don't miss any more reviews from yours truly. Please like and subscribe. But yeah, let's dive straight in to reviewing Night of Champions, and let's talk about the first match on the card, and that was the men's King of the Ring tournament final match between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about the men's King of the Ring tournament final match between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. I'm a big fan of King of the Ring. I kind of like the idea of basically like what it used to be, kind of you win it and you get a title shot. Has been the last couple of years. Really like this concept. Always have, and I'm a big fan of tournaments, so it makes sense to me. But obviously this is an interesting match because obviously Cody Rhodes going against his mentor Randy Orton. Obviously they pointed out in the broadcast obviously it's 7-3 to Randy Orton, so Randy Orton's got a better record against Cody when it comes to facing off against each other. I kind of like that they start bringing these up, and when they do these shows. But yes, obviously when it comes to the match, really definitely probably the match of the night, definitely by far. I mean, obviously whatever you think about the main event, but yeah, really good. Obviously it shows both of these guys got chemistry. Obviously it's nice to see Randy Orton back in kind of good form. I kind of like the kind of storyline in this match when obviously Randy Orton hit that superplex from the top rope and obviously hurt his back. Obviously, to say an injury, and obviously Cody Rhodes showing very heelish tendencies there when he was trying to obviously start working. I think like a torture rack on was it around the post. It was kind of really cool, kind of showing that Cody Rhodes is starting to get a vicious streak. Maybe he's learned from what happened to John Cena that he needs to be a bit more vicious. Maybe if he wants to get ahead or maybe get back his title, maybe it's starting a heel turn. Maybe it's one of those things. But yes, obviously we had all kinds of counters. We had obviously Cody Rhodes hit 2 Cody cutters, one from the normal way he just leaps up the second rope, and then the first time the second time obviously done the right to the top avalanche one, but Cody kick out. Kind of love this kind of counter with it. It was like Randy Orton was trying to go for the Cody, was it the RKO? Then obviously it was countered into Crossroads. It's kind of really nice. I like that kind of stuff. We had RKO out of nowhere. We had, I think it was an RKO in mid-air. I think he was trying to go for that Cody cutter, but obviously Randy Orton hit that RKO. I know, it's freaking awesome. All kinds of stuff, kind of like expect like big moves, big kickouts, as you expect in a match like this. But yes, obviously I like the idea that Randy Orton went to kind of go heel as well, because obviously after nothing was working, he went to get the steel chair. Obviously the referee stopped him, so he resorted to going taking away the top of the exposed turnbuckle, exposed that, trying to hit Cody Rhodes with it, but obviously didn't work, and obviously Cody kind of pushed him into it, obviously after the counter it, and obviously was able to hit Crossroads on Randy Orton to get the win, and he wins this year's King of the Ring tournament and will face probably John Cena at SummerSlam for that undisputed WWE Championship. But yeah, really good match, definitely one of the best matches on the card. I expected this, to be fair, because obviously Cody Rhodes, as much as people think, is very good in the ring. Obviously Randy Orton, sometimes when you've got connections with people, it just makes matches better. But yeah, I kind of like at the end, obviously when Cody Rhodes was like kind of praising Randy Orton, that he didn't. That wasn't a face of a man that was very happy he lost that match in the way he did. So it wouldn't surprise. This is only like speculation, obviously, on my end, but I wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to turn heel Randy Orton, because obviously Randy Orton's best work is as heel. Let's be honest, it is. His best stuff is as heel. But I'm thinking, because obviously we'll think about The Rock, and obviously wouldn't surprise. This might be an interesting concept. I don't know if they're kind of teasing it, and obviously we're talking about the main event, but I like the idea of maybe like a John Cena, Randy Orton teaming up. Because obviously now it's like, if they're going to go on corporate, maybe he's like, he costs Cody or something like that. To be fair, it's probably going to be Seth that cashes in, and probably after Cody wins it, and then that'll set up a few with them. Let's be honest, it's probably where it's going. But then I just like the idea of like Randy Orton's like, I want a heel turn from him. He's had a good face run, but he's better when he's a heel. But then again, would people cheer him or hate him for it? Probably not, but his best work has been as a heel, so I see he probably should at some point. But yeah, again, great opening match. I really definitely agree it's the match of the night. And obviously Cody Rhodes, obviously they are teasing. He's kind of like getting more aggressive as a, very heelish. Is he going to turn? Probably not. But at some point, they have to turn heel at some point. But the problem with that is, if he turns heel, John Cena's now heel, unless he turns back face. Who have they got? Like, you've got Jey Uso, it's kind of proved that, sadly, and with the situation with him, is obviously he's really fun, a cool character, but obviously when it came to his kind of in-ring abilities being exposed, sadly, the last when he's US title with his world title run. So, can't be him. So, who? That's what I would say, but maybe the build time might mean LA Knight. I'm still hoping that this is the year of LA Knight. Just fingers crossed, please. But I don't know. But all I can say, great match. Great opener to this show. So, but yes, obviously after that, let's talk about the next match on the card. Let's talk about a street fight between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. So let's talk about that match, because this was actually a really fun match. Let's talk about the street fight between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez in a kind of feud that it's an interesting one, this, because obviously it does, from my opinion, feel like a tag on one, because obviously with Liv Morgan out for a couple of months because of injury, there seems like bad luck, especially with those women's tag team titles. It seems to be, if you're tag team champions, you're getting injured. But yes, obviously with this one, so it just felt like it was like, okay, we'll get them involved with Ripley again, because obviously we all know that they put together, they're probably going to put a pretty good match on. But obviously, I mean, I remember when they done that match in NXT. It's just something about, if anything, this show covers is like chemistry. When you've got it, you've got it. But yeah, what I like about, but this obviously feud is a bit like, kind of felt like it was tacked on, but it's fine because obviously we have that in wrestling, so it's fine. But also what I like about this match is that obviously they were friends, because obviously they didn't turn enemies. It's the oldest story in time. But what I like about it is like Rhea Ripley's kind of her whole thing's the power game. Out muscling, out intimidating her opponents. But in this match, obviously she can't do that because kind of Rodriguez is kind of like even strong, similar strength as well as it probably even stronger. So I kind of like that they played up to that. I kind of liked the idea. I kind of liked kind of the thing early on when she was like trapped in the ropes, and obviously using a kendo stick and obviously using the chair. It was just like it had some good vibe, it had a good flow to it. This match, I think I like it's kind of what a street fight should be. It had good moments, it had like big spots. I mean, the big spot probably for me was that one where I think it was like you got the roof of the kind of announce table, put it near where the timekeepers area. I think Rhea Ripley, I don't know what she was going to do, she like jumped off the announce table, but obviously Raquel was able to catch her in midair and hit her kind of like a finisher on top of the roof of of this announce table. It sounded brutal because obviously it snapped it in half. But yeah, it was a really good spot, amazing spot that I loved, and it was also really loud because obviously where they put it. But yeah, love that spot. It's one I think Raquel Rodriguez is another example of again, someone that they could really build something big if they gave her something. But obviously in this match she came out looking great in this match. So it's one of these matches where both Rhea Ripley won, but Raquel came out looking great. So obviously it's a win-win for everyone. But obviously we had that bit. Obviously I like the bit obviously Rhea Ripley kind of whipping Raquel with the belt, obviously her own belt, obviously, but the way she's kind of reacting, I kind of like. Then obviously I've got Roxanne Perez came out, kind of don't know why. Obviously I know she's part of the kind of Judgment Day thing, but is she though? It's a weird. Judgment Day's a weird thing right now. Always has been, to be fair. But obviously she came out, but obviously it didn't work, and I kind of didn't really change the outcome of the match. Obviously I kind of liked that. Obviously was Ripley basically took the trash can and then kicked her in the face. They're kind of like, yeah, you're done, you're out of this match. I'm like, okay, I appreciate it. It's like you come in, don't do anything. I think if you're going to be a distraction, at least it has to be that she wins. But hey, just what I believe in anyway. But obviously the match ended with this really cool, I don't know why, this very dangerous little spot they had where they put like the table, like kind of a table on the bridging at the top of the rope, and kind of it looked very scary because obviously the way that rope was like trying to hit a riptide from the top. Obviously I think it was Raquel was going to try, I think, hit her finisher that way, but Rhea Ripley kind of countered, hits the riptide from the top, kind of an avalanche riptide off this bridge table, got the pin, got the win, and yeah, Rhea Ripley gets the win here. I mean, I'm kind of confused where they're going to go with Rhea Ripley, because obviously it's like she can't really go after the title because obviously she's lost multiple times in that. And obviously, she could probably continue this feud, but obviously, where they're going, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, I don't watch it as much as I should, so maybe there's a storyline that's more clear if you watch it. But yeah, I think I'm liking this. I've got to be honest, wouldn't mind if this is going to become maybe a series of matches, but then if you definitively win like that, kind of can't end. You kind of have to end the feud there, to be fair. But yeah, very enjoyable. Had all the spots you'd want in it. Obviously, that finish very creative, very cool. I have to admit that spot with obviously near the timekeeper area, really devastating, looked really cool, and a devastating finish that kind of like in the end of this match. Where I said 14 minutes, everyone had fun, everyone looked good. It's a win-win, to be fair. I mean, obviously it's not anything. Is it the best street fight ever? Probably not. But then a street fight's basically about you use weapons, you have big spots, and basically you have to have a spectacular finish. And this is exactly what this match was, and it worked well. So I'm pretty happy with it. What happens next? Obviously, I think this feud's going to continue. I don't think, cause obviously with Liv Morgan out, I think they need to keep Raquel doing, obviously we'll find out what happens with that, the tag team titles, because obviously she's walking around with both the belts at the moment, so the only thing that makes sense to maybe me is that they're going to get, was it Rhodes and Perez is kind of going to join Judgment Day and take Liz Morgan's place, while that could start a feud there when Liz Morgan comes back, her trying to weasel her way in, weasel her way in. Kind of like that, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's like she has to pick a partner and she picks, because Roxanne Perez wouldn't surprise me, but it's only logical thing, like unless they strip them of the title, it makes sense if she keeps the belt, because then it's a whole thing. But yeah, that's what I would do anyway. But yes, obviously Rhea Ripley, I don't know what they can do. I think I don't know what their plans for SummerSlam is. Obviously we talk about a certain match that's probably setting up that feud on the I think the SmackDown side of it. So Raw, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. Obviously, you would forget that I think Io Sky is your women's champion. You would forget. So I don't know if they've got to do something there. But yeah, but good match. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I can't wait to see. Hopefully, this will start and continue, because I do like these two wrestling. They put on really good matches, so I'm really happy. But yeah, let's dive into the third match on the card. Obviously, we must talk about the probably only kind of thing that didn't have a stipulation on it, or have some tournament final, and obviously that is the match between Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. Yeah, let's talk about this one. So let's talk about Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Kind of a match that's kind of tacked on, because obviously Dominic Mysterio's injured, who's supposed to defend her title against AJ Styles, but obviously that he got injured, so they had to cancel that match. So they had to kind of put a match on here, and obviously kind of storyline's already there, so it kind of doesn't feel like it's tagged on. So obviously Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. Obviously, what you think about Karrion Kross is the idea that I like the devil on the shoulder. He's the guy that kind of like little suggestions that kind of make you question yourself, because the whole thing at the moment is every time you talk to someone, they've turned heel. They've changed direction. Perfect example of that is the New Day. Obviously, the way he kind of put the seeds between obviously Cody, Kofi, and obviously Xavier Woods, and that turned into the whole thing into a biggie, and that's why they're heels. Like little things like that. It's like he kind of like sowed the seeds for that heel turn, and obviously it's kind of teasing kind of that with Sami Zayn saying you need to kind of turn. You need to, if you want to get ahead in this world. Playing nice and playing fair is not going to make you world champion. Bending the rules is going to make you champion, as it's kind of proved. But I kind of watched I think a quote that I kind of saw nicely. Someone said like Karrion Kross needs this to happen, because that's what he's done in his whole career, kind of bullied his way, taking shortcuts, that kind of stuff, and kind of like he needs to see someone as good as Sami Zayn turn, so it proves that it can be done. I like that storyline. I like the kind of like nuances of that storyline, but when it comes to this match though, I'm not quite sure. The pacing was off. It's very slow. Crowd, I don't think were really into it too much. I mean, Sami Zayn at times, but I think it's when Karrion Kross, I think it's like the crowd did die down. I don't think it wanted to make with Karrion Kross, because obviously the entrance is great. His character work off screen is really good, but it's always been the case also NXT. He was always like, his in-ring ability is very good in the ring, but his style is not a thing that kind of gets you off your seat. That's fine, you have that in wrestling, but it can kind of suck the mood out of things at times, because obviously a lot of it is kind of very ground and pound, very suplex heavy, So I can see why people can't really get into his. I like his character-wise, top notch, but on in-ring, his in-ring style, I just don't think resonates as much. That kind of puts him down a bit. That kind of sucks, because I really do like Karrion Kross. I really do. But the pacing was very slow, as I say. But I like the kind of Karrion Kross to keep putting Sami Zayn's head, beating him down, beating him in submission, kind of sitting there saying, "Say you're a liar. Say you're this. Say that I'm right." You know, trying to convince him that kind of like, you know, trying to convince the people that kind of he's become like a cult figure. That kind of like, you know, they Bray Wyatt type stuff, you know, like the cult stuff. That I kind of like in wrestling, because obviously it kind of works when it's just a cult leader spreading nonsense. It's when it starts getting a bit spooky, that's when I don't like it too much. But yeah, kind of convince Sami Zayn, like, yes, admit you're a liar, admit you did, just to some sympathy to the fans. You know, you're nothing but a fraud. You know, stuff they used to do with John Cena, basically. But yeah, obviously eventually, you know, he turned. But yeah, I kind of like, you know, that kind of stuff. But I kind of like the finish as well. Obviously, Karrion Kross is hitting them kind of, you know, in, you know, big moves in the corner, kind of like, you know, taunting him, saying you're a liar, saying this. But I like the idea that he tried to go, because he was trying to do that, he got distracted. He just turned his head away just 1 second, turned away, and just when he was trying to go for that third kind of like splash or something like that, then he got Sami Zayn coming out, bursting out of the corner, hitting a Helluva kick out of nowhere, gets the pin, gets the win, and yeah, solid, good match. Again, it was fine. The question is obviously, so Sami have won this. I get it, because obviously I think the storyline with Sami Zayn is that he wants to win the world title. It's basically like they're doing the old 2014 Sami Zayn. It works. It's what his character is. But I kind of like that. Yeah, they're doing the same storyline. Yeah, he can't win it, but he keeps. You know, he's got to. He can't win it because of he's too caring. He cares too much, and he's got to like trying to be more selfish if he wants to win the world title. But yeah, I just think Karrion Kross, like, if you're going to build him up and build up this kind of storyline, he's got to start with same Bray Wyatt all those years ago. He's got to win the big matches. He's got to start making big wins so people take him seriously. He's all talk but no substance, you know. He's all good talking a big game and all this stuff, but then not winning the match. That's the problem. Hopefully it's not so. Obviously, maybe they might start. Seems like Sami Zayn's getting involved in the Seth stuff again, so maybe Karrion Kross was like going to be sidelined again. I'm not a fan of. I mean, I just think he needs a big win. I think if you want to elevate a character, he needs that big win to make it, like people go, oh, this guy's really good. Like, oh, this might be a threat. He's big in someone like Sami Zayn, or maybe he beats someone like, I mean, Seth Rollins. Maybe obviously that won't happen, but you know, needs a big win. So I'm a bit disappointed in the sense that I thought Kross would win it, because obviously he needs it more than Sami, because his whole thing is about being the underdog, so him losing probably helps him more than winning, if that makes sense. But it was fine. I mean, it was a solid match. The pacing was a bit slower, that I guess people weren't into it as much, but it done the job in a way. I just hope it continues. I hope they don't just like give Kross this big push and then they don't hear from him again. Hope not, because obviously that promo after WrestleMania was absolutely insane. The guy is so good. He needs a push. Really does. But yes, obviously Sami Zayn won here, so yes, obviously after that we'll talk about the only probably first or maybe two for Night of Champions pay-per-view. It's quite strange that we only have two kind of championship matches on the card, but hey, what do I know. But obviously we'll talk about the United States Championship match, obviously between Fatu, the United States champion, going against his former kind of ally friend Sikoa. And yeah, this is an interesting match, so let's talk about it. Yes, let's talk about the United States Championship match. Was obviously Fatu going against Sikoa in a kind of betrayal kind of storyline. Obviously, we saw it in the last pay-per-view. I think was it Money in the Bank? Obviously, with the taking him out in that match, turning on him. Sikoa. Obviously, I think they were. I'm sure they were pushing it as a heel, but. Fatu was the heel, but it was obviously exactly the way it should be. Is that Sikoa is the heel, and Fatu, the most, kicking ass as always, is the over guy. And yeah, I mean, I kind of like the story a little bit, because obviously it's kind of the idea of the story as long as time. Basically, a guy part of a group, and then basically, I kind of like it's got more. basically they're doing the old, he doesn't know what's good for him. He hasn't got any brains, Fatu, and I kind of like, so Sikoa's kind of like mouth got him in trouble, and that's why I think Jacob Fatu turned on him eventually. And that was kind of like the idea that basically like without Sikoa, Jacob Fatu is just nothing. He can't do anything basically. It's like basically Triple H Batista type thing, like he doesn't know what's good for him, and obviously Batista hears it, and then it's like, oh, I see. It's very, you can see like Triple H kind of stuff here. But yeah, obviously when it comes to match, it was weird. It was fine. It was solid. I mean, it was quite short to be fair, like a couple of like 12, 15 minutes or something like that. But yeah, it just felt off. Like the pacing was a bit weird. Obviously we had Sikoa kind of attacking Jacob Fatu early. We obviously like him sort of messing around. Again, Sikoa was in control. The pace slowed, but obviously when Jacob Fatu kind of got involved, it kind of picked up the pace. Kind of the big kind of thing, obviously with this one, obviously the big one, kind of bit spot I pointed out was obviously that bit where Sikoa hit a German suplex, it flipped. But obviously Jacob Fatu got up really quickly to show him what a monster he is, and obviously hit his own German suplex on Sikoa. But when it comes to this finish, it's obviously about the interference. Again, it seems to be a thing with maybe Sikoa matches, or just W in general, just like they're overdoing the kind of interference spots. I mean, which coming from? Yeah, type stuff. But this feels, you should at least have one. Like, I don't know. But anyway, we're not getting to that. But obviously we've got, was it Tangaloa? I think, was it coming back from injury? Obviously came off the crowd. Obviously after JC came out as well, distracting the ref. Came in, hit his kind of finisher from the top rope. Obviously looked like he was going to win. But obviously Jacob Fatu kicked out. And obviously took, Jacob Fatu was kind of like, getting back into the match, kind of all that kind of stuff, so distractions, all that stuff. And obviously you got Talatonga, I think they're what they're calling him, kind of the brother of Tangaloa, kind of big, tall guy, got involved, sit there and, chokeslammed, Jacob Fatu onto the announce table, didn't break, but chokeslam onto it, chuck him into the ring. And obviously, Sikoa, on Jacob Fatu to get the win, and is your new United States champion. And it looks like the group is kind of like the Bloodline group again, it's building up again. That's fine. Another feel. Sikoa is an interesting one, because obviously I like his kind of, he seems to be showing more character recently ever since. Obviously he becoming that new Bloodline thing, and I kind of like, he's pretty decent in the ring. It's just, I think what they need to do with him is basically book him as a legit threat, then he doesn't need help. Like, he's kind of like the old chicken shit heel, basically. Finds a way to win by distraction. It would be nice if he was a bit of a badass, that he can, obviously needs help, but obviously he can destroy people, without the help, maybe. Maybe that might be what happens later on. Obviously I don't want, Jacob Fatu to get like a lose and kind of get a clean win. I get it. But I also like kind of like the idea that this United States Championship is not like a long reign, it's like a couple of months, kind of like, but it should be, to be fair. Like, so Sikoa having a singles title probably is good for him. Probably needs that kind of legitimacy for a while. Is he going to hold it for a while? I probably don't think so. Probably until SummerSlam, probably. But yeah, the finish, it was expected in this match, and that's fine. As a match as a whole, I wasn't expecting anything crazy. Obviously, Jacob Fatu looks great in this match. He always is. Obviously, the idea that basically he's, now he's turned, like, the kind of comments that Sikoa kind of saying, like, he's not very clever. He's nothing. He's a hothead. Kind of doesn't ring true here in a sense, but obviously it shows that Sikoa's the guy with a plan, and obviously without Sikoa, Jacob Fatu is nothing. Kind of interested to see what, it's going to be a situation if it's like he tries to take them out one by one, and then obviously when he finally gets his hands on Sikoa, he's going to destroy him. That's probably where the storyline's going, to be honest. Probably win back the United States Championship, or somebody wins it off Sikoa because of Jacob Fatu's distraction, maybe. That's the way it is. I'm not against this feud. It's fine. I just want to see if there's something to Sikoa, because obviously now he's not in the main event. It's kind of in the upper mid card. It's kind of where he's level at, and I think that's where he's going to thrive. I think. So with this new group, kind of like new addition with this group, it'd be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's anything but Sikoa needs that push. Jade Fatu looks badass anyway, and everyone loves Jade Fatu, so it kind of enhances him in that sense. So it kind of a win and book him, sort of. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just like it kind of started off good this pay-per-view, and it kind of last couple of matches have kind of been like, But yeah. Jade Fatu, interesting to see. Sikoa's United States Champion, interesting to see where that goes. But yes, let's talk about the Women's King of the Ring Tournament final. Obviously, Asuka going against Jade Cargill. Let's talk about that match. So in Sikoa, I mean, on Jade Fatu to get the win, and is your new United States Champion. And it looks like the group is kind of like the Bloodline group again, it's building up again. That's fine. I mean, another feel. I mean, Sikoa is an interesting one because obviously I like he seems to be showing more character recently ever since obviously he becoming that new Bloodline thing, and I kind of like that. He's pretty decent in the ring. It's just I think what they need to do with him is basically book him as a legit threat, then he doesn't need help. You know, like he's kind of like the old chicken shit heel basically. Finds a way to win by distraction. You know, it would be nice if he was a bit of a badass that he can obviously needs help, but obviously he can destroy people, you know, without the help, maybe that might be what happens later on. I mean, obviously I don't want, you know, Jade Fatu to get like a lose and kind of get a clean win. I get it, but I also like kind of like the idea that this United States Championship is not like a long reign, it's like a couple of months, kind of like, you know, but it should be, to be fair. Like, so Sikoa having a singles title probably is good for him. Probably needs that kind of legitimacy for a while. Is he going to hold it for a while? I probably don't think so. Probably until SummerSlam, probably. But yeah, I mean, the finish, it was expected in this match, and that's fine. As a match as a whole, I wasn't expecting anything crazy. Obviously, Jade Fatu looks great in this match. He always is. So obviously, the idea that basically he's, you know, now he's turned like the kind of comments that Sikoa kind of saying like, he's not very clever, you know, he's nothing, he's a hothead. Kind of doesn't ring true here in a sense, but obviously it shows that Sikoa's the guy with a plan, and obviously without Sikoa, Jade Fatu is nothing. Kind of interesting to see what, you know, it's going to be a situation if it's like he tries to take them out one by one, and then obviously when he finally gets his hands on Sikoa, he's going to destroy him. That's probably where the storyline's going, to be honest. Probably win back the United States Championship, or somebody wins it off Sikoa because of Jade Fatu's distraction, maybe. That's the way it is. I'm not against this shit, it's fine. I mean, I just want to see if there's something to Sikoa, because obviously now he's not in the main event, it's kind of in the upper mid-card. It's kind of where he's level at, and I think that's where he's going to thrive, I think. So with this new group, kind of like, you know, new addition with this group, it'd be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's anything but Sikoa needs that push. Jade Fatu looks badass anyway, and everyone loves Jade Fatu, so it kind of enhances him in that sense. So it kind of a win and book him, sort of. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just like it kind of started off good this pay-per-view, and it kind of last couple of matches have kind of been like, But yeah. Jade Fatu, interesting to see. Sikoa's United States Champion, interesting to see where that goes. But yes, let's talk about the Women's King of the Ring Tournament final. Obviously, Asuka going against Jade Cargill. Let's talk about that match. So let's talk about the Women's King of the Ring Tournament final between Asuka and Jade Cargill. Obviously, this is kind of going into this match, it's kind of everyone's kind of looking at it going, Jade Cargill's winning this match. It's set up to be. It's not like the Cody Rhodes Randy Orton match where it's like, you know it's Cody, but then you could see Randy Orton winning it. Sadly, in this match, I wasn't going into this thinking Asuka's going to win it. The crowd wanted Asuka to win it. The crowd really wanted Asuka. People love Asuka. Asuka's one of those people, I think someone said, is one of those people that kind of sit there and go, she's got all these titles, she's got all these reigns, she's like money back winner, she's got all these accolades, she should be happy, but it's like, she never truly had that push. They never felt like she was, never since kind of NXT when she had that, like, you know, unbeaten streak that apparently Goldberg's really still out unhappy about. That's really strange. But yeah, it's like never had that kind of push, like kind of, you know, the top woman, you know. With her ability, it should be that case. Obviously, Asuka is amazing, but I don't know what it is. Maybe, I don't know. But it's just that's what it feels like. But when it comes, obviously, with this match, it was basically very slow paced. But Asuka was kind of carrying it in a way. Because So obviously how good, obviously versus power versus striking ability kind of was what it was put. Very short match, I think it's like 8 minutes. It was like quite short. I would have hoped, probably because maybe Jade Cargill's ability in the ring, don't want to diss, but it's always been kind of a thing. Even AEW, it's kind of like questioned her ability. Obviously that takes time, maybe she needs to get adjusted. But I think this match kind of exposed that she still needs a little bit of work. But Asuka tried her best. All she did, there was some, I like kind of like the strikes that she was doing there, kind of back and forth in a way. I kind of like the kind of counters in a way. And I kind of do like the finish, because obviously Asuka was trying to, I think, go for her finisher, and obviously then Asuka kind of, Jade Cargill kind of caught her in midair. I think it's gone for the hip attack, I think it was, caught her in midair, and then hit her kind of, like a finisher, down onto Asuka, and gets the win. It was I liked it. I think it was, I liked the finish, but for the match, yeah, it was fine. Someone said it's a TV match. It was on TV, it'd be fine. But for pay-per-view quality, probably not great. Obviously, when it comes to Jade Cargill winning it, again, no one was surprised here. Obviously, it's kind of set up when she got to the final. It was going to be. It's pretty obvious to me where this is going. Basically, she's going to face, I think, Io Sky, probably, or she's probably going to go against, I think, Tiffany Stratton. Probably go against her for that title. She wins it, and then Naomi comes out and cashes in and becomes the women's champion. It's kind of set up. When Naomi won that Money in the Bank briefcase, it's kind of obvious where the storyline is going. Because obviously she hates Jade Cargill, and I can't wait to see that. So it's probably where she's going to win the title, or she's just about to win the title, and then Naomi comes out and does her Seth Rollins moment, makes it a triple threat, and then she steals the title from her, maybe. I can see it, and I would love to see it, personally. Naomi get like a decent heel run with that title, because I think she's been brilliant ever since she's turned heel. So that's what I think it's going. Obviously, you can say about Jade Cargill's ability in this match. I don't want to be that guy, really, but it was glaringly obvious that it was a bit off. I don't know what it was. It was just maybe the pacing, maybe it's just kind of styles not working here, but it just felt off, and I can see why they only put 8 minutes, because it's like, if it was 15-minute match, that would have been hard to watch. But 8 minutes is fine for what it was. It's fine, but yeah, I'm interested to see. But obviously, as I said, Naomi cashing in against Jade Cargill. She wins it, or she gets stolen. The title, just about to win it, and then obviously Naomi does it. But that's why I think the story and going will be interesting to see if that happens at SummerSlam. So obviously, let's talk about the reason I'm watching this show. To be fair, is the main event, the undisputed WWE Championship match. John Cena versus CM Punk one last time. Oh, cannot wait to talk about this one. So let's go. Let's talk about the main event. The reason a lot of people are watching this show: John Cena, CM Punk for the undisputed WWE Championship. And yes, obviously interesting build-up. Obviously, they've got the whole controversy of CM Punk's comments on Saudi Arabia, and now he's going to Saudi Arabia. I mean, I normally don't watch these shows, and now I am, so maybe I'm a hypocrite as well. But, it is what it is. But yeah, good stuff. Obviously, you got the John Cena pipe bomb. Again, amazing. Love the idea. Like basically it's been, someone said rightly, it felt like he's been thinking that 15 years. He's been waiting for Cena to tell CM Punk exactly how he feels about it. But yeah, it was a good build-up, I think. Concludes a match that I kind of was excited for. I'm still a kind of fan of CM Punk, and obviously John Cena's heel run has been a bit meh, has its really high moments, but matches-wise, it's been okay, basically. But when it comes to this match, though, obviously it was given the most time, but it was really good until the ending. Until they completely done it again, when they overbooked it again. It was good. I mean, obviously, I was liking it. Obviously, it's like, it shows that obviously John Cena and CM Punk was having that kind of chemistry that kind of proves that there's just no doubt that CM Punk's John Cena's greatest rival. People say it's Randy Orton. It's not CM Punk, just by quality. And obviously the guys, they're not any younger, but they're still putting some pretty damn good matches in this match. Again, slow pace, obviously John Cena, but obviously we had cool stuff like CM Punk locking in kind of like the Willows thing, like kind of AJ Lee's kind of finisher. It's kind of nice homage there. You had obviously back and forth counters, could not show very well. John Cena hitting I think 2 or 3 STFs, AAs. You had obviously CM Punk hit probably 1, probably 2. You know, it's kind of the big match. Everyone's hitting their big moves. Everyone's counting their big moves, and obviously everyone's kind of kicking out. I kind of like. It was really cool. Kind of John Cena. What was it? Was it counted the kind of CM Punk crossbody into an AA for a third AA, and obviously kicked out. And obviously that's when the match went. It was kind of like this. Kind of like went a bit weird in a way, because obviously went out. He done anything what he always does. When he's not going his way, he goes and gets the belt. Comes back in. He's going to sit there disqualification. He'll still defend the title. Then he dropped the belt. A little bit of the fans get into him. I kind of like. But obviously it almost cost him, because obviously CM Punk hit the GTS and it was in near fall there. But then obviously, as it's kind of expecting in these matches, guess what happened? A ref bump. Tried to go for, I think, that kind of crossbody or something. Was it the move that Cena does? CM Punk moved out of the way. The ref was there. Boom. Ref bump. And then you're like, okay, we know where this is going. But then obviously with CM Punk hit the GTS obviously on John Cena, but you know, would have won, no ref, seems to be a common occurrence. But then Seth Rollins' music comes out, and this is kind of where the match kind of went you know, went bad basically, or not bad, but just sucked the life out of the pace of this match, because it was going really well to this moment. But yes, obviously Seth Rollins obviously teasing a cash in, coming down with his new group. Again, we don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute. With the group, with his new group buddies. I don't think he has a name yet. It's really strange. But yes, obviously, then he came down. Obviously, went after, took out Punk. It's obviously because obviously John Cena, and obviously it just looks like he was going to cash in. Obviously no ref, but it looks like he's going to cash in. But I like the idea that basically that the ref comes down, Charles Robinson running down. Look, he's not getting any younger, that poor man. Running down, and obviously I like the idea that John Cena done what he done to Punk all those years ago in that Money in the Bank match. That's homage to that kind of moment where, like, you know, the ref coming, you know, when John Laurinaitis was going to go and, like, you know, call the Montreal Screwjob on, you know, CM Punk all those years ago, and then obviously he took out the ref saying not that way. And then the same thing here with obviously, you know, he done it with the ref there saying no, that's not going to happen. And we kind of had this last little moment where obviously John Cena and kind of CM Punk teamed up, like, you know, taking out Seth, taking out his group, kind of like, you know, teaming up, it was kind of a nice moment, because obviously it's like, you know, they are friends, isn't it? Like, but I kind of like, and obviously, but then obviously you forget that, you know, all the stuff, get Seth Rollins out of it, all the shenanigans, you're like, what's going on here? But match had, you know, I kind of like the idea that basically, like, just don't hug John Cena, just don't hug him, it's not going to work. Obviously he hugged CM Punk here. Obviously it looks like he was, you know, what he did to Cody, tried to go for the elbow. CM Punk, you know, smarter, knew about that, saw it coming, but obviously Seth Rollins couldn't have CM Punk win, so hit him with the briefcase, hit the stomp, but obviously John Cena chucked Seth Rollins out of the ring, and obviously he stole the pin, got the win, and he's still your undisputed WWE champion. And obviously it looks like we're setting up another match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk at SummerSlam. I love this feud, but come on, man, it's been going on for like so long. You tell them, like, the start of the year, they're supposed to have a defining end of feud match, and now they're still feuding. It's weird. But yeah, obviously I like this match for what it was until they all got involved. Then it kind of suckered the kind of a stew. It could have been a great match, but it's a good match, but it's like that kind of, it's becoming a problem with the main event that's seen at the moment, in my opinion. Again, obviously people don't like, obviously, you know, shenanigans, ref bumps, all that kind of stuff. I think the problem with this is the idea with John Cena is that he needs to be more variety with his cheating. If you're going to keep him being a heel, like, yes, he uses the belt. Why not he just, like, maybe uses a low blow, the ref didn't see it, or, like, you know, or just like a roll up using the tights, you know, something creative. Like, you can still cheat to win, but it's the same thing every time. It's like formulaic. Ref bump, he gets the belt, that kind of stuff. Obviously it's a bit different because obviously the Seth Rollins distraction, but that's the problem with this. It's formulaic. Goes to, and obviously you can't sit there and say Cena can't wrestle, because in this match it was really good. Kind of old Cena a little bit. Like, it's like, this match didn't need this. I mean, you could have done a situation where basically, like, yes, Cena cheats to win, finds a way to win, and then obviously, like, the idea that basically, like, end of the match, obviously maybe he tries to go for, you know, tries to take out Cena again, you know, CM Punk again. Then Seth Rollins' music hits. Then you can have all the stuff that's happening through this match there, and then you can have that nice moment at the end with the hugging, and obviously, yeah, basically, like, there are elements in here that could have worked. Like take that bit where the Zayn won't come out and take that at the end of the match. Let the match breathe as an own entity. Then put the thing at the end. And it might have worked, but I just think that it just really suckered the life out of this match, in my opinion. And it's really becoming a problem with John Cena matches at the moment, the way they're booking it. But by far, definitely the best match that John Cena's kind of run so far. Randy Orton was good in a way. Obviously, the R-Truth was just short and sweet, that I kind of like at Saturday Night Main Event. And yeah, obviously we don't talk about that that main event for Money in the Bank, really. But yeah, I think this is the best match. Obviously, it proves that. I hope this is not the last. Because obviously, I think they put it's a 6-on-6. I think like record against each other. So. I think obviously John Cena guesses he's won the feud if this is the rubber match, but I don't know. It's got to be. I'm still going on this booking that I put. Maybe I'm wrong. He's SummerSlam, Survivor Series. I mean, can't do it now because we've done the homages, but like, yeah, I think this match should have been left for maybe later in the year. But that's just my opinion. But it's happened now, so. I mean, the way it looks like it's going. Obviously, we've got John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Rematch, obviously we've had a couple of months now, so it kind of feels fresh. So it looks like Cody Rhodes is kind of teasing, as I said in the opening match, kind of teasing, kind of heel turn, so it's kind of like he's more aggressive now. He's learnt from Cena, saying maybe that's what he needs to do to beat Cena, be a bit more aggressive, bend the rules a little bit, maybe take out people that people love, just so we can win that title back, because he needs that title back. Maybe. That's the story I would go for anyway. But it looks like what's setting up here is either, because obviously Seth Rollins seems to be cashing in on the John Cena stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me if he cashes in. Cody wins it, he wins it back, John Cena loses, maybe he turns face again, and then Seth Rollins cashes in, becomes your WWE champion, and then he starts to feud with Cody and Seth again, maybe. Don't know if I want to see another one, because they seem to be regurgitating the same couple of people. That's fine, it just needs a bit of variety at the moment, because it seems to be going for the same storylines, but but that's how I would do it. But yeah, except for the way it ended, it's still John Cena's best match, and I just hope this isn't the last one. Hopefully they can sneak out another one, maybe. But maybe I'm just wishful thinking there. But yes, that's last match of the card. That's to go wrap this review up, and that's put my final thoughts on the entire show. Put my final thoughts on it. So let's go. So Night of Champions 2025. The question obviously that anyone asks is, was this a good show? It was fine. I mean, it was probably similar quality to the last couple of shows at the moment. They're consistently kind of alright. They're not amazing. They're not great, but they're just mildly good and entertaining enough that you want to watch it. Would you go back? Probably not. But yeah, I mean, obviously by far in this pay-per-view, obviously Cody Rhodes and obviously Randy Orton is definitely the match of the night by a country mile. Definitely good match there. I like kind of the both trying to maybe out-heel each other, maybe go and bend the rules a bit because they were desperate to win. Obviously Cody Rhodes won, then it makes sense, and obviously Randy Orton not looking happy, maybe teasing something like a heel turn at some point. When that happened, I do not know. But yes, obviously that Rhea Ripley kind of versus Raquel Rodriguez match again, really fun, good street fight. I like the creative finish, had everything you'd want. Can't really say anything bad about this, really. It's really good. Yeah, it's exactly what Street Fight should be, and it's really fun. Obviously with storyline, not quite sure, but I like your creative finish when it comes to like a big spot to end the match, which is what this match had. So good stuff here. So good 2 matches to open it. Then it kind of went a bit weird in the middle. Obviously with Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross. Again, I like the storyline, but the match was all right. Good, I guess everyone won, but it's just there's no momentum to it. It felt like it needed something else. I don't know if it was just because it felt like it was tagged on. I don't know. But it was a solid match, a good match in a way, but just it was missing something. But obviously with the United States Championship match, again, that was fine. But again, it's the situation of the screwy finishes at the end, too many people involved, and I'm not against the idea, because obviously that's what Source Code's kind of like, storyline is, and a character, but I don't know, just wasn't really connecting. But again, I'm down for maybe a Source Code United States Championship one. Might help him, elevate him maybe, because he does need that kind of credibility, because he has been ever since he turned and kind of done the bloodline stuff, he's kind of had a bad record. I have to look it up. I bet his win-loss record is terrible. But obviously, that was okay match, and then obviously the women's, you know, was it King of the Ring tournament final match, Asuka versus Jade Cargill. It's 8 minutes. It was something off about it. Asuka, I think, was trying to carry, making this match good, but I think Jade Cargill has got a lot to do. I mean, I don't want to question anything, but just like, yeah, no, I don't think the fans are connected just yet, but that might change. Maybe with the Naomi stuff, maybe, because obviously that's where I think they're going with this feud. And but yeah, so there was that match, and obviously the main event, I've always said, was going great until they decided to put, like, you know, overbook it, and it's kind of ruined it a little bit. It's still, I wish, as a last match, I wish it was just more of, they took that bit, put it at the end, and it just be just a match that ends, and maybe you could do the controversial finish, just be a bit more creative. I'm just saying, there's a way you can book this better. I'm not saying I'm an, you know, expert booker, but I just think there's a better way. But overall, what would I give this grade? So it's a good, I don't want to say B-, because obviously there was a lot more off it than, I think a B- would be okay, because there's nothing I can say it's like a C or anything, because it's still got the cool moments, but there's nothing that really grabs it. So I would put B- maybe, if, you know, because similar consistency to the other 2 or 3 pay-per-views we had, and kind of WWE shows recently. So if you go by consistency, they're consistently okay good. But hopefully SummerSlam, when they have, I think it's a double night, first double night they've done with SummerSlam, so it'll be interesting to see what they do there. Anyway, so that's the end of that. So, you know, please like and subscribe. Please let me know in the comments below what you think of Night of Champions. Love to get your thoughts. Love to chat about wrestling with everyone, so please let me know. Yeah, should be back. WWE, I'll definitely be back, obviously, for that Saturday night main event kind of show. Obviously, they've got, obviously, Goldberg versus Gunther. But apparently it's really good. It's like a tight match for Goldberg, so maybe I can get behind it, but we'll talk about that when that match happens. I'm very tempted. I really want to go and watch. I'll be definitely back for my first AEW review of the year. I really want to watch it, because obviously All In, I've been to the last 2 because they're in the UK, but obviously this one's in Texas, and obviously for the card I've seen, I have to watch that show, so I'll probably be reviewing that one, so look out for any AEW content. Might be trying to get back into that as well. But yes, obviously enough, you know, talking for myself. Hope you've enjoyed my review, and I'll be back soon. So yeah, have a good rest of your day, everyone. So see you later on. Bye.